Good afternoon, kind of a bit of a different video today. Try to rattle through all of the stuff I have to show, of which there is a great deal. So, a bit of, well, I could hardly call it news by the time anyone actually sees this, whenever that might be, but I have been asked to move out of my flat, to leave my flat by my flatmate, who has no real authority to ask me to do that, but she's been here the longest, so hey ho. Anyway, bit of an upheaval, but I on the one hand can look forward to spending a lot more money on rent in the short term because this place is very affordable, and also have to deal with moving all of the crap I've accumulated. So, which left me slightly cursing myself for starting this hobby, this silly hobby. So what I'm doing is I'm going to trade in quite a bit of stuff, but the thing is, I'm not just well, basically, I had gotten to the point in this hobby where I've become concerned with with the condition of things and their status. I don't know. So, like, for example, platinum PlayStation copies or platinum PlayStation 2 things, Player's Choice, is that the GameCube one? These sorts of things. You look down the it's not a shelf, it's a drawer I keep mine in, and you see black, silver, and it just looks a bit. It compromises the integrity of the collection. Kind of silly, but I'd gotten to the point where I was thinking I will at some point make a trade off of trading in for, say, let's be honest, CEX credit, these platinum edition things, and yeah, paying a bit more to get the kind of non-platinum ones. I could see myself doing that, and so as a result, those are pretty much the things I've picked out, as well as things that are boxed that you know, I've come to that point where, this the space thing has become an issue suddenly. So now I'm like not into boxes with certain provisos. There's certain things that I'm keeping for posterity that might be valuable. Other things I've decided, look, if Super Mario 64 in its box was valuable, it would be valuable already. So I'm probably not going to keep that just to see what happens to it one day. Certainly not this copy because it's in bad condition. So let's start there so that I'm not retracing my steps too much. Yeah, so this is my very first video, inherited from a friend who was basically giving me all his N64 stuff because he didn't need it. It's got its instructions and it's got the game, which is pretty beat up as well. It's just, I don't need it. So I suppose this video is technically a kind of collection rundown video, except that unless I choose to backtrack on any of these decisions, it invalidates itself the moment it's uploaded, because by that time I will have gone and traded them all in. So it's a rundown of what I own, but almost all of it will be gone by the time this video is out. Croc. I really liked Croc 2 back in the day. I didn't have as much of a thing with this game. I was kind of planning on trading it in a while ago anyway, and decided, oh, but it's it's kind of a PlayStation classic. It has a central part in the kind of PlayStation platformer kind of a oeuvre. But cracked the case, and fuck it. Final Fantasy 9 I mentioned in the last video. This is my original one. It's really, I'm not sure about this one actually. It seems completely ridiculous, but I kind of have a fondness for it, even though it's got the old Games Exchange sticker on it. And look how yellow it is compared to this one. Now they're both platinum. Interestingly, this old copy had picture discs, from a non-platinum copy. So I've stuck them in here. So now, and it's got instructions as well, which this one didn't. So, I mean, I don't really know how I go about upgrading this, you know, apart from, you know, buying the box of a non-platinum copy. And there is just something about this. I'm slightly torn because it's very strange. This was, you know, it's a dear game to me, and this is the first one I owned. And I can see the difference. I can see by its pure quality that this is my original one. And I suppose technically this isn't any better, you know, in terms of status if you're talking about platinum. So I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind on that one. Put the picture discs back in again for the originality or whatever you want to call it. It's a very silly thing, isn't it? I will possibly rethink that one as well for the same reasons. My original Final Fantasy VIII. Although I came to Final Fantasy very late. Talk about that another time, I think. Starwing. At the same time as I bought that pretty poor quality Pokemon Silver from Cash Converters, first time I'd gone in and realised, oh, they might have retro games. I got this, it was like £6. I thought, £6 for a Super Nintendo game? But this is always cheap. It's £4 in CEX, invariably, or £3 or £4. And this is in poor condition. It's grey and yellow. It's got horrible sticky shit on the front, and I'm not going to play it again in a rush. So if I want it back, it will cost me £1 or £2, and at the moment, it will make my move ever so slightly easier. This is a game I've had for years and years and years, and again, it's like, maybe I'll keep this because it's kind of funny. I would maybe do a gameplay video on it at some point. Really primitive Grand Prix game. Now, a friend of mine with whom I currently live, who's not responsible for me having to move out, he's really into Grand Prix games, and I showed him this very briefly. I think I showed him a video of its gameplay on YouTube. But he found this hilarious because he's used to playing, you know, modern Grand Prix games, and he knew who this guy Ayrton Senna was. I didn't. He told me he was a real big shot back in the day. A real big shot. Anyway, really no interest in playing this other than for a very brief one-off kind of nostalgia trip, and maybe just to see what my friend's reaction to it would be. So, fuck it again. Keep on with that. This is a good way of making my mind up about these things, actually. Mario Kart 64, again with Super Mario, I'm going to take the risk on saying that if this was going to become a, you know, valuable game boxed, it would be so already. It boxed, I think, in CX at the moment is £35, so it's a nice bit of credit for me right now, which it doesn't pay my rent, but it does stop me spending money on this stuff in the meantime, and credit is worth more than cash in terms of trade-in, and it's money I will eventually spend, even if it doesn't save me money in the next month or so. The proviso being that I don't blow all of the credit I get on some stupid purchase like Shining Force 3. And this is not even in good condition anyway. I mean, it's grotty. So I would actually like Mario Kart 64. So Mario Kart 64, but I can't really trade it in the box itself, and the cartridge itself isn't in good condition either. So it's got to go. Pikmin, really like Pikmin, but again, Wii Play Control. Having played a little bit of the GameCube one a long time ago, I did not find playing this, you know, I didn't find that the Wii version gave it a new lease of life or anything, and it doesn't feel like the real thing. Let's see this thing. It doesn't feel like the real thing in an important way, and I found myself wanting it on GameCube anyway. It's not to do with condition or anything. I just found myself wanting it on GameCube. I don't need this. Kingdom Hearts, great game. I like it. Again, platinum. Yeah, you know, guilty of vanity. But that's the story. And it means, the good thing about this is it means I can talk about these games again when I get them again. Yeah, wondering where the urgency for that will come when these are all games that I've had recently. It might really change my collecting habits. This whole thing might change it. This kind of being faced with the physical presence of all the stuff I've bought and having to deal with it. Dragon Quest VIII. Now, I'm pretty sure this is the one I bought originally. So it's not like I kind of got a... Although I think I bought it at the time when it was like newly out. So maybe that's a mistake. Maybe this is a replacement copy from a while ago, but not when I first bought it. I would say it's a good game, but incredibly time consuming and quite grind heavy as I remember. Really beautiful art style, well, quite a good looking art style, kind of nice music, really well orchestrated, it's actual instruments recorded, a real orchestra, which is pretty unusual. But yeah, I don't know, I've started playing it a couple times thinking I remember this game, this will be good, and it's just it's very traditional, and the storyline is basically negligible from an emotional point of view. It's so I don't know. It's always been a game that I've held on to, but I've kind of never enjoyed as much as I've always kind of. It's like when you think, oh, I should do that. That'd be good for me, and you think and talk that way about a game, a thing that is a complete waste of time. I don't really believe that, but some games are pure entertainment and passing the time. This is not a profound game, even if it's a well-made game. And I remember it took me over 100, maybe 70 or over 100 hours to complete, like just main game. It took me a long time. So I don't know, maybe I'll keep this around again just to punish myself as I have consistently done. But not by playing it, just by keeping it and going, oh, I'll play that one day, and not, or trying and not committing. But maybe the time has come to, yeah. And then question whether I really want it if and when a proper copy comes up, non-platinum. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 now is a game from my youth, but I bought this in my teens. I was thinking about this, like, but Mega Drive boxes, also Mega Drive, Genesis, so, weird. I don't like the grain on the Genesis cartridge, I'm pretty sure that's not a Mega Drive thing. And it's in poor condition, fuck it. You can get Sonic 2 for like pennies anyway. This will probably get me pennies, but so maybe just be as well throwing the box away, but someone will appreciate the box game more than I will, so whatever. Short-term game for long-term. Mickey Mouse Castle Illusion, I only bought this very recently and I was going on about the whole boxed question then. Yep, the boxed question has come up. Although, I did talk about doing a gameplay video on this, comparing it to the Game Gear version. I don't know when that's going to be a reality for me. I had thought about this winter, towards the end of the year, investing in like streaming stuff and giving it a go. But yeah, just another thing to spend, another chunk of money to spend. All the same, maybe I'll hold on to this. Put it aside for now. I won't take it away today. The thing is, there's only so much I can reduce my collection by. I should really only be worried about whittling it down to one box fewer. I don't know how many boxes or containers. A container is not a container, or not just a container. I'm talking about size. If I get rid of a box and a half, then that's still that half box. It's heavier, but it's still taking up just as much space. So I shouldn't go too mad with this really, because it's not going to save me a lot of bother past a certain point. Metroid Prime, now, great game. I almost replayed it till the end recently. Yeah, didn't quite compel me to finish it in the way that I'd expected when I replayed it. Although I've played it quite a few times now, so that's kind of forgivable. But yeah, the player's choice type thing is kind of frustrating, and it's not an expensive game to get anyway. I don't really mind. Trading this in at the moment. Gives me an opportunity to talk about it again. Now, one of my it's almost a guilty pleasure, because I know that there are many things objectively wrong with this game. But one of my favourites in terms of fondness and my length of experience with it. I've got a precious save file with all my stuff on this. I gutted this game. I did all the emblems, all the Chow stuff, A ranks. I got Green Hill Zone, which was really cool. I've kind of seldom done that with games, really. Totally completed them. And I don't know, yeah. And this, it's not hard to get again. In fact, there's one in CX at the moment. So, a non-platinum player's choice thing. So, again, I think, and that's, I bought it when the GameCube very first came out. So, I remember it's got kind of distinctive spine, as I remember the kind of proper one. It's got this blue and white stripe thing. So that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see when I look in my drawer. Speaking of which, actually, kind of similar situation here. So this is not that cheap to replace, and honestly, I'm not a big fan of Sunshine, which I could get into another time. But it is a good game. It's a great looking game. It's fun to play. It's just I kind of feel like a lot of the missions are bloody stupid and repetitive, patronising. So I would want this. I would want this on the GameCube, and that's kind of why I bought it. I was like, why don't I have Mario Sunshine? I've got a GameCube. This is before I kind of properly started collecting. But anyway, the kind of link I was drawing here is that it also has that kind of striped spine pattern, which is obviously a continuation of this pattern here. And again, that's kind of just what I want to see. And I'm just doing this thing now, aren't I? I'm just decided to kind of... I'm talking about upgrading my collection. I'm talking about downsizing it to begin with, I suppose. We'll see. I don't know. I suppose I'll see how much credit I get for all this stuff, and I might change my mind at the last minute on a few things based on how much it is. I don't know how I'll make that decision, but I'm thinking it now. Now this is getting to fuck. Fucking... This is only this is really not expensive in CX right now. It's not... It looks like some big fucking thing, but it's... The cartridge itself is £3 or £4, Lilac Wars. Which I would like to have. It's a game that I didn't play, I don't think, even when I was younger. Maybe played it a tiny bit, but a friend of mine had it, so it's kind of one of these... a lot of N64 games are, for me, games I remember my friends having. So I may be playing them for the first time, but it's a meaningful return in some senses anyway. So I would play this game, but this box is just absolutely ridiculous, and someone scribbled all this out where it used to say Rumble Pack included. Rumble Pack, I think. Yeah. But this is just ridiculous. I'll get a small amount for it. Someone will think this is really cool. So I'm not going to chuck the box away, because I just think that's wasteful. But I don't want it. it's never going to be worth anything, I don't think. And now this is, that's a real investment in space. So this is the short list of all the stuff I'm getting rid of right now. And another thing I've got to deal with is our friends for dinner a few weeks ago. I was saying, oh, I've kind of started collecting video games and stuff, and he was like, oh, he brought out a big pile of PlayStation 2 games. He said, you can have these, like, we don't need them, we've got no use for them, just take them, like, even if you're just going to get rid of them. And there's a few of them that I would have played, but these boxes are all empty. So, and the other ones, look, the other games that were in this pile he gave me, some of them were not in good condition, although CX accepted them all, so I guess they were playable. The discs looked a bit scratched up to me, but I've had games rejected from there before, so I guess I have to just trust their quality control, is that what you call it? Their standards. I don't know if it really affects me now that they've accepted it anyway. I don't think it's connected to your membership in that way. It just keeps receipts, I think, on your membership at CX. Anyway, so I really don't know what to do with these, but getting rid of 5 boxes would make a small but substantial difference to the move. But I don't know. I feel it feels wrong to just chuck these out. And had I not been moving flat, I was thinking I'll just keep these until I see my friend again, get the discs off him if he has them, which I should maybe just check. I'll check if he has the discs. If he doesn't, I will probably just have to throw these out or donate them if CX use spare boxes. I'm not sure. Maybe ask them that today. But I don't know what to do with them. Seems a waste to throw them out, but oh, sorry, I was saying might have kept them to replace worst quality boxes that I had. If that was the only thing keeping me happy with the quality of something, none of these really have gouges out of them. So I mean, that's not a good enough reason to keep empty boxes when you're moving flat. If it is a good reason in the first place. What's the difference between that box there? Yeah, who cares? Anyway, so that's my collection. That's, part of my collection, which is soon to be no more.